I've been getting a lot of questions on how I produce my songs, and I do everything by myself. I feel like some of you might find it quite useful because I'm not the greatest when it comes to music theory. I'm not the greatest when it comes to doing things according to the book. I like to experiment, and I like to just do what I think sounds good. And I've kind of cracked the code on how to get things done, how to finish a project, even if it's bad, because that was a big struggle of mine in the beginning, getting frustrated and just stopping. But now I kind of know how to push through and be able to finish a project. Because if you can't finish a project, you can't get better. And that is a sad truth, unfortunately. But I'm going to start by showing you the basics of Logic, because I've used other DAWs and I just find Logic the easiest. There's just no need to, like, there's such a big drama going on, like which one's better. I'm like, who cares? Who cares? People make music using BandLab, GarageBand, like just anything. It doesn't matter. Whatever is like comfortable for you, just use that. It doesn't matter. Okay. I find Logic comfortable. I've tried using Ableton. I've tried using FL. I've tried using Pro Tools. They're all the same. They're all the same. I think Logic is easier, especially for a vocalist, because I'm a vocalist. But anyway, so I'm gonna start by showing you some of the basic features on Logic, how to kind of get started, like getting comfortable with the images, the icons, what to do, shortcuts, and stuff like that. And because I get a lot of questions about it, and I'm just like, yeah, maybe I'll be able to explain in a way that's going to be helpful for others. I know there are other like multiple things online that you can probably look through, but I think mine's going to be the best. So once you open Logic, this is what you're going to see. MIDI is basically when you have either a MIDI keyboard. This is like a keyboard, but it lets you plug the keyboard onto your computer. Unlike a normal keyboard, you won't be able to do that. You need a MIDI keyboard, MIDI controller keyboard. But I have like 2, 3 MIDI keyboards, and I just use my laptop keyboard most of the time because it's convenient. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes restrictions can make me actually make better decisions, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I just get lost in like option paralysis. Like, oh my God, I don't know what to do next. There's like the options are limitless. So I find just using literally 12 notes, is it? Yeah. On the keyboard, quite like freeing for me. It's more comfortable. So you don't have to invest in buying like a MIDI keyboard. If you're just beginning, you can just use your like the keyboard. So I'll show you that as well. But that is it. So MIDI is that. Pattern is basically, I never use session player or pattern. Pattern is basically, I'll show you if I create. I don't think Logic is done this quite well, in my honest opinion. So you're gonna see this. This is like, I think this is how FL Studio works. So you're just basically just putting in the notes. Oh, like that, and then it's just gonna play. But what I find is like you can already hear the glitch. That only happens when I'm using the pattern thing. I just like, no, it just doesn't work for me. I don't know if it's a glitch just in my Logic that I'm using. It's just when I find, like when I try to use pattern to do anything, I find that it glitches and it doesn't sound good. So I don't use it. And the session player, I just think that the sound, this is basically, you can get a drummer, bass player, keyboard player. If you're a singer, I think it, I don't know. If you're a singer, I think it's useful. Like, it's a good thing to have, but I just find like the noise, like the sound of what they are. Why is it not playing? Okay, let's see. Oh, really? Anyway, let's do this. Yeah, I just find the sounds that they use quite like cheesy. I don't know if I can, like, I don't know if anyone feels that, but it's just, just feels very unnatural. I don't like it. So I don't use those. Oh. What I use is mostly audio or MIDI. So I've already explained what MIDI is, and this is what it looks like when you create a MIDI track. Let me just get rid of this and this. So this is what MIDI looks like, and what I do is basically get this and just play my chords, or just play anything, melody, chords, anything, just on here. You can change, like, go up an octave or go down. So it's quite useful. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. So it's quite useful. So the default instrument is electronic piano, but this is basically where you're gonna change your instruments. Okay. So for example, if I mostly use synthesizers. So for example, if I just go my favorite synthesizer. Excuse me. Woo! I like Alchemy. I'm gonna show you Alchemy. 1 second. Oh, come on, man. Oh, there you go. So this is what it sounds like. I don't even know what it sounds like, but this is what it sounds like. Let's say you wanted to change it. This is why it's my favorite. You just go here, and you can basically see how different it sounds. So this is what we're given. If you change it, shorter, more legato and more atmospheric, completely different. And for example, let's say you like this one and you like this one, so you can just go, whoop, I want something in the middle. So you get best of both worlds. Or you have your controllers here. What I like to do is, don't worry about what these are. Play around with them. And don't worry about, like, don't get involved in, like, oh, I wonder what that, like, technically, what does that do? Like, the oscillators, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not at that level yet, okay? But what you're going to do is basically be a child, and you're going to experiment. You're going to figure things out on your own. You're going to go, okay, if I do this, this is what it sounds like. If I do this, this is what it sounds like. So, and you're just going to go, oh, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. I think it needs to be more like this. I think I can do this, blah, blah, blah. And I encourage you to actually play around with these, and like even these knobs. Just see, turn it up, see what it sounds like, turn it down, see what it sounds like. It is very important to just use like what they give you and make something your own. Just create create your own unique sound basically. And if you really like that, is that too complicated? But anyway, I'll just show you anyway. So for example, let's say you made a sound that you're like, oh my god, I love, like I can use this in anything. I can use this for my future projects. What you're gonna do is, you're gonna go up here when it says custom. We're gonna go save a copy as, and I'm gonna just use this as trial. Save. So now my own synthesizer that I created is here. So once you click on it, it's going to give you those exact settings. So yeah, so with the MIDI, you can do synthesizer, you can do drums, you can do piano, you can do guitar, you can do bass, you can do even vocals. You can like put your own vocals, you can sample it and just play around, and I'll show you that as well. But I don't want to make things so complicated just yet. Let me just talk about what these mean. So this mutes your track, this solos your track. So if I have another thing that's playing here and I just want to hear this one, see, it just solos that one. Or if I want to mute this one is just going to play. This is obviously for your volume. This is to pan left and right. So if you want to get experimental, you can basically put one track so that it plays only on your right ear or only on your left ear. Some people go really crazy with this. There's this singer that pans English lyrics, like English vocals to right and French vocals to left, but they play at the same time. So like I thought that was quite experimental and quite cool. So yeah, you can get creative. So some people do that with instruments, so it sounds stereo and stuff like that. Again, just experiment. Don't worry about how things are the way they are. Don't worry about the technical stuff. Just have fun, experiment, see what you like. Okay. I'm just trying to think if there's anything. Yes, let's talk about effects. So on your MIDI, on your audio recordings, you can add effects. And you're going to find that right here, audio effects. So you have your compression, your EQ, your delay, overdrive, pitch correction. You can literally find anything here. Very briefly, I'll tell you what each thing does. So what EQ is, EQ basically lets you manipulate frequencies. So if you want to, let's say you want to make you sound brighter, or let's say you have a very high pitched voice and you want to highlight the low tones of your vocals, you go on your EQ. So this is where your high frequencies are and this is where your low frequencies are. You can either boost those low frequencies or you could pass those like low frequencies. You can make them almost disappear, or you can make them, if you want to make it sound brighter and like your tone a bit more like brighter, you go boost. If you want to go this, what does that do? Pass the high frequencies. And this is everything in the middle. That's like, if I get into explaining what everything does, it's going to take a while. So this is basically all you need to know. This is in the beginning. Don't get me wrong, in the beginning. And these are just obviously everything that's in the middle of the frequencies, but you have some presets here that you can use. And again, it's all about experimenting, trying to find out what you like and trying to get comfortable with the DAW. So you have all these frequencies. You're gonna kind of what I would recommend is, if you especially record vocals and stuff, just solo that track, just go through EQ, all the presets, and just see what you like, and then analyze those. Like for example, if I pick, let's say voice, if I go female voice, vocal refresh, you see how, because it wants to refresh it, it goes up, up, quite up, and low. But everyone has a unique sound and unique tone. So this is something that's quite personal for each vocalist. So you need to kind of know what your vocal tone is and what you want to highlight and what you are lacking, for example. So you need to play around with those and see what's going to make you sound the most natural in a way. Not always, but most of the time. Like, because every kind of microphone that you use has different diaphragms, there's different features. They all make you sound a little bit different than how you would normally sound. So basically what EQ is, again, like this is a bit more complicated than I'm just like explaining, but the first initial EQ is you trying to get that most original and authentic sound that is yours. Then you're gonna go into compression. These are the most important things. Compression is what, again, you're gonna have your presets here that you can use, and honestly they're more than fine. Like honestly, they're more than okay. So but what compression does is, if you are recording and you hold the mic here and you're singing, you're singing some parts quiet and you're singing some parts louder, and you don't move, or even if you move, it's still like louder than those little parts. So what compression does is, compression makes those quiet parts louder and those louder parts quieter. So you, instead of you having a waveform that's like this, you have a waveform that's more like, you know, a bit more like calm and nice to look at in a way. Then you have reverb is a cool effect. Reverb is like makes you sound so angelic and amazing. I don't like to use these kind of reverbs on my vocals, but again, I will get into them in like later on. In the beginning, these are just fine. Silver reverb. Again, you're gonna play around with these knobs, see what you like. Um, Another thing, this is music production vocabulary. Dry means when there's no effects. Wet means there's effects. So the more wet it is, there's more effects on it, and the more dry it is, like there's literally nothing. It's dry as fuck, basically. Um, but again, it it gets a bit more complicated where when you play around with these, and instead of me having to explain to you what they do, I would encourage you to just play around, see what they actually sound like, because this is music and frequencies is real life. It's basic like, I'll give you this example. When you're brushing your teeth, and as a kid you go like, so when you do something with your mouth, like when you change the shape of your mouth, the sound would change. I hope you know what I'm talking about. But that's basically a frequency. That's basically what you're doing with EQ and with what these mean, like low cut. When you see hertz, those are the frequencies that they're talking about. So that's it. This is obviously like when you because you're gonna have a different tone than anyone else. You need to figure out what sounds good. Okay. Once you do everything by ear and then you get into technical stuff, you're more comfortable and you understand better. Like, oh, okay, like I know what this could do. Like, for example, if you add a delay that's like too, and you added like, you made it too wet and then there's too much high frequencies, that's gonna make the mix sound quite like muddy, and like this is gonna be like harsh, and it's not gonna be pleasant. But you're not a mix and mastering engineer. This is completely different. But I'm still telling you because it is important to know the basics, in my opinion. Um, yeah, you've got your reverb, you've got your delay. Where's delay? You've got delay. That's basically like echo. Um, but the rest is, and pitch correction obviously you can use. But the rest is like in the future. This will do you nicely, okay? In the beginning. And when you're recording vocals, which I will get into now. So if you want to create a new track, you go here at tracks, you go audio. This is if you want to, record guitar or bass. This is when you want to record vocals, but let's just create. When you're recording, you have to press here so that you can hear yourself. But because I'm not recording right now, I'm not going to do that. When I'm recording, I always put loads of effects. Even pitch correction, I put loads of effects because it just gets you in the correct mood. And what I'm gonna do is I have a setting that I use, and I'm gonna make that available. I'll even link it in the description so that you can download from the link, and you'll get the project with my vocal chain already there, so you don't have to worry about like the effects part of it. And I'll even use like the reverb that I like to use. I usually send my reverb through a bus. It's gonna come up? No. So I usually send but that's again in the future. We don't have to worry about this. It just sounds a lot better when you send your reverb on through a bus rather than through just straight from the effects. I don't like it, so I just use the bus. But yeah, like I said, I will just include that, and I'll even include some notes here. So if you want to like, for each track, if you want to go blah, 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 whatever, yeah, you can just do that. You can change a lot of it. Oh my god, there's AI. Oh, I don't have it. Anyway, good. I didn't even know AI was there. But anyway, yeah, you can change the font. I mean, you don't need to do that, but. And oh, I've done something, and you can see that the instrument list is gone. Bring that back. You're gonna press Y. I gets rid of this little bit, and Y brings up the library, basically. You have sound library. And let's say you're very, very, like, you're just so new to this and you don't know what you're doing. You are gonna go right here where that little circle is. You're gonna press here, and you're gonna have all your loops. Literally, you can find anything and everything here. What I like to do is sometimes, like, I'll find majority of my kick sound or like my drum sound, like snare sound, hi-hat sound, individually from the loops, and I'll just cut them and then do what I want to do. It just sounds more realistic because these are recorded in a real studio versus if I was to create like one of these session player drummers. They are very robotic. They're not like real instruments. But again, if you have like, you got loads of things here, so. And again, if you are gonna use a loop, there's nothing there's nothing wrong with using loops, but if you are gonna use them, you need to make it your own. That's my only thing. You need to like that's a good sound, but I would either, and it even gives you the chords, like look how great that is. It even gives you what chords they are. I would transpose it, which you can do right here. You go on region, go transpose. If you want to do up or down, you do plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Or what I like to do is if you just, let me just show you this. So if I drag and drop it here, or like on an empty nothing here, it's going to create a track. I can put it here, but if I put it on a MIDI track, it won't play. Okay? If it's on it needs to be on an audio track. And yep. So for example, what I like to do is, you can do this with vocals as well. When you record something, if you click on the audio and you drag it here, and you literally, it says quick sampler. Excuse me. There you go. So what I like to do is basically chop. This is what it's gonna do. So I'm gonna get my keyboard just so I can show you. So whatever note I play, it's just gonna play that selected part, but in different pitch. But if I select, for example, all the way up here, it's gonna go. This is basically, you're creating your own samples from, like, I find an audio or like an instrument or something that inspires me, and I make it my own. And it is so much fun. This is the thing that I don't understand with people who uses AI. It's boring, yeah. If when you do these things, it's just so much fun, you know. So let me just think. Oh yeah, you can change the tempo here. You can literally go up, down, if you click on it, or you can just double click and just put your number. What I like to do is here, when I start a new project, I go on this arrow and I go custom. So it tells you exactly 2 minutes, 6 seconds, yeah, or 1 minute 16, etc. It tells you everything. You can change the time signature here. This is just the very, very basics of Logic Pro, and I'm pretty sure GarageBand is quite similar. So if you have GarageBand, you can just watch this video and still be able to do everything on GarageBand, which is free. Yeah, I hope that helps, and please do let me know if you have any questions, if you struggle, if you want to do something specific, if you want to learn something specific, let me know, and I'm happy to help you. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.